Okay, hello YouTube. I am Bruna and I am your hostess this afternoon. This is Talk and Talk, a conversation platform where we come to communicate in English, Spanish, French, and Italian. This is not a class, it's an immersion, which means nobody here is going to teach you or to correct you, it's just a conversation. We're going to speak in English 100% of the time, and that's it. We have a topic. Every immersion we have a topic and a host who guides the conversation. The host writes the questions too, and we just talk. Okay, just like in the classes, we don't one talker don't correct or doesn't correct the other. It's just a time to talk. Well, there are 11 of us here, which means a lot of people, so I'm going to split us in some breakout rooms. In the breakout room, I need someone to read the questions and make sure everybody's going to have the chance to talk. Okay, and I think that's it, guys. I'm going to split us in rooms with 4 people, and I'm going to have 2 guys here in the main room with me. And then we're going to talk, okay? If you need any help in the breakout room, there is a button there called Ask for Help. You can click on this button and I can go to the room to help you if something happens. Okay, today I'm gonna have with me in the main room Diane, since she's here for the first time, and Newton. Okay, and the other guys are going to the room. Well, I really hope you enjoyed the talk. I'm gonna send the questions one more time and enjoy it. At around 5:50, I will bring everybody back to the main room to see how the conversation was, if you liked it and everything. Before starting answering the questions, please don't forget to introduce yourself too. Okay, that's it. Oh, I talked too much. Now it's your time to talk. Let's get started, guys. Well, I think I have Newton with me for the first time, right, Newton? I have already seen you here, but I think this is the... No, we have already talked.
With you in the beginning of the month. The first week, I think.
That's true, but your camera was off, right? Now I remember. I am really good with faces. With names, I'm not that good because we have similar names here. So it's really good to have you here. Let's start introducing yourselves. Dai, can you start, please? First of all, can I call you Dai?
Yes, can call me Dai.
Good.
Yes. Okay, I can introduce me. Well, my name is Diane. I'm 23 years old. I'm a psychology student. I live here in São Paulo, capital. I have a dog called Pandora. She's my baby. She's next to me today. I work as an intern in HR area. Well, I think that's it.
That's good. What are your hobbies?
My hobbies, I like to read the books, to visit cultural places. I don't know, I like to walk in the park, go to the gym. This normal stuff.
Great. And how did you find the TNT?
On LinkedIn, I saw a post. I think that it was from Philippe. I don't know how to pronounce. Yeah. And then I entered in the website.
That's good. So welcome aboard. I hope you enjoyed the talk. And let's hear from Newton now. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, yes. I'm Newton. I'm 60 years old. I'm a accountant. I have 2 sons, 5 grandsons, and I love to reading books and traveling, especially in Brazil, mainly in Brazil.
That's good. What was the favorite place or like the best place you have already visited here?
Okay. I have visited the north of Brazil. I love Rio Grande do Norte, nice beaches, nice place to live.
That's good. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I've never been there, but I have already seen a lot of photos, and this is definitely a place I would like to visit. It's really beautiful.
Me too.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here again, Newton. And I am Bruna, guys. As I was saying in the beginning, I live in São Paulo too, just like you. I work as a teacher. I am graduated in languages. But as I was saying, here it's just a talk, okay? So I'm just the host. I'm not going to teach anything or correct or something like this. I also work here on TNT as a community manager. I started working here, and actually I started attending the meetings last year in September, and then I fell in love, and well, that's it. And now I'm a host and everything. I'm always here. And that's it. My hobbies are going to the gym too, studying Spanish. I've been studying Spanish for 3 months. Yeah, sleeping, eating, and these stuff. I think now we can get started. Now we already got to know each other, and let's go into the topic, which is imagination. So let's start with the first one. What is imagination to you? Is it important in your life, and the reasons? Let's start with you, Newton. What is imagination?
Imagination, I think, is all for us, because we have an imagination for everything you do, and for your dreams, for your goals, in order to help someone. And I think everything begins with imagination. And I have to struggle to have good imaginations in order to have success in everything in life. Because, as I said, everything begins with imagination, you know.
I loved it. Yes. You know what? I created this team because I was thinking that as adults we don't imagine too much, but you brought an amazing point of view. Like when we dream, we are imagining the future, right? And I hadn't seen from this point of view until now. So thank you so much. I totally agree with you. What do you think about it, Dai?
For me, it's hard to define in a phrase, imagination, but I agree with Newton. It's very important, I think, that in every aspect of our life. In my case, I have some trouble imagining too, mostly the future. I'm very pessimist, so everything that I imagine is negative futures, negative results. So but it's a kind of imagination too, I guess. But I think that it's very important because with imagination we can project, what we want to, we want to what we want to achieve, where we want to go in the future. For example, I don't know, our goals, this kind of stuff. So it's very important. But I have this problem because I just can't imagine bad things, or I can just focus on the bad imagination things or this kind of stuff.
I feel you, girl. Yes. You know what? I think I started imagining or like thinking of my future, I don't know, 2 years ago, I've never had big dreams. I've never had big plans for my life, like
Not
I
even
know
the negative ones.
not even the negative ones, no, like because I know a lot of people say, no, you need to follow your dreams, but with dreams I don't have any. I just want to be alive and like keep doing what I'm doing. So it's weird not having dreams. And I am getting better now. I think now I have a better perspective, but it's really difficult. And yeah, I would say that nowadays imagination is really important for me. As I was saying, I work as a teacher, and I think also working with other people in a community where you need to be creative and to use your imagination to think of ways to make things work, and to imagine things to the class, how the classes are going to be, if the students going to like. So I think I just need it every day. And as you were saying, the concept of imagination, I think it's just not foresee, but like think of something that is not reality, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how I would define it. So, Dai, I wanna skip then because you kind of answered this the second one. So I'm
Mhm.
going to skip to number 5, okay? Because you said you are a bit you're not that much optimistic girl. So is it harder? Do you feel it's harder to be imaginative when you are older? Do you work on this, on like setting goals, at least if you don't imagine too much? How do you plan the future? Maybe we can add a lot of things in one question.
Yeah, well, in my case, I think that it's hard to be a imaginative person, mostly when you are older, because I think that nowadays we have a lot of distractions, and we have so um, tiny time. I don't know if I can say that, but a scarce time, I guess, something like that. Because nowadays, even when we have the free time, we are spending this like with our mobile phones or things like that. So I think that this can be very negative for our imagination, because I think that to imagine things, you need to have free time. You have to focus on the imagination. You have to have your mind like open to that to that activity, to that task that in this case is the imagination. So I think that nowadays it's very hard, at least for me, it's very hard because of these distractions. But I try to work on my imagination before going to bed. I like to have like it's like a meditation time. When I sit in the bed, I like turn off the light and I try to focus on my thoughts and my imagination. So I just let it go, my everything that I'm thinking about on that period. It's like a meditation actually. And I try to imagine a lot of things. So it's my way to practice this imagination in
That's
my life.
good. Yeah, okay, great, great. And like while you were saying, I thought of creativity too. I think we have a question about it, so I will just hold it a little bit, but I totally totally feel you. It's hard. It's nice what you said because we usually spend the time on the cell phone and we don't have too much time to just focus on us, on other things, right? I think having sometimes to ourselves is really important, and
Mhm.
it's difficult. Yeah, Newton, what do you think about it?
Okay. I think it's harder, in my opinion, to imagine when we are older. I think, but I have to struggle with a pessimistic view of life. I think if you try to be optimistic, to have faith, because you have to imagination that everything it will be okay. Everything will be okay. I think so. I have to try to have better health and try to take care with your health. Um, I think if you try to do your best, I think things it's going to be very well. I think this is my opinion about this.
Yeah,
You have
that's good.
okay, yeah,
No, go ahead.
yeah. We have tried to do the best everything with your health, with your relations, family, friends, to do always to do the good things. Okay, yeah, these things it works for you when you are older. Uh,
Good point. Good point. Yeah, you said something that made me think a little bit because I wanna like ask you too, because I feel that while you were saying, I thought that imagination is like, I think we may have these two sides, like we can imagine good stuff and bad stuff, and I think it's really hard to manage this, right? When we are facing like a lot of things. I don't know, our life is too busy, when we are having a bad time in the country. I think all of these things make us imagine bad stuff, bad scenarios, right? So it's really, really hard. Yeah. But it's nice what you said, Newton, that we need to maybe see things from other perspective. Is it easy? No, it's not. It's hard. I won't lie, but it's important, right? Well, let's see the next one. This is a question that we are always asked when we go through job interviews. That's why I added this one here. Can you imagine what your life will be like next year? What about in 5 years? Let's start with next year. Dai, what are your plans for the next year? It's almost December. How do you think your life will be like?
As I said before, it's pretty hard for me to imagine the future or at least to create some plans for the future. But I think that in the next year, I don't know, I want to do I forgot the word now in English. I don't know if it's exchange.
Exchange
Intercambio.
program. Yes, exchange program. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do an exchange program to study Spanish because I've been studying Spanish for 2 weeks too. So I'm still a beginner in Spanish, and I want to have this practical learning, in some Latin American country. About job, I don't know. I want to have to know more areas in my field, in nature area. And about the university, I don't know, I will still be on the university. I will not be graduated yet, so I think there is no news about this. But I think that my focus for the next year is the Spanish, because it's very important for my life nowadays. So I
No
just
way,
want to learn.
girl. This is
Yes.
definitely my plan for the next year too. As I was saying, I've been studying, like I started last year on Duolingo, like
Mm-hmm.
basic stuff. And then this year I am studying harder, taking classes and everything. And it's so good, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, it's just a new world. Yes, I love it.
Yes.
When will you graduate, Dai?
In December of next year or in July of the other year, like
Mm-hmm.
2024.
Got it.
I'm
Okay,
not sure
that's
yet.
good. So it's no, but it's coming. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, no, like these are huge things, like
Mm-hmm.
studying, like keep studying and like keep going to the course and college and
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's not easy, doing
Mm-hmm.
internship. So don't be so hard on yourself too, that's a lot already.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Newton? What are your plans for the next year? Let's start with this one.
Yeah. Um, I'm in another part of life. I'm retired since 2000, 2000, 2012, yeah. And I left my last job 2014. But I have a job, as I work for myself for a non-profit organization as accountant, and my plans for next year. I have to pay my debts. I have a debt that I have to pay next year, and I intend after that to travel to Israel, first of all, Israel, and Europe by that time. It's my plan for the next 5 years with my whole family, my sons, my grandsons, my daughters-in-law, and this is my plan for next 5 years. Next year, I have to pay my debts. I have these debts to pay. I will have not condition, but next 5 years, I intend to do this.
That's really nice. Yes, I really hope you can pay this. I know debts, they are just I don't know, they bring us so many worries, right? And I think when we are free from these, it's just so relieving, right? So I really hope you can just pay it, okay?
Okay.
And I loved this idea of traveling. I've been thinking a lot about these two guys traveling, I don't know, maybe to Spain. My friends who have been there, they always say I would love Spain because it's really nice and everything. So I've been considering this. And maybe another English speaking country just to see how it is, like if I can handle it. Because even though I'm here every day, it's just different when we are in another place, in an English speaking country. So I think it would be nice to have this experience too. For the next year, I want to conclude some courses. I've been taking a course and I want to keep going to the gym. This is something this month I struggled a lot. So I want to keep the frequency, and the pace. And that's it, I think, and keep studying Spanish just like we were saying. Yes. Dai, do you want to share the plans for the next 5 years, or is there something?
Let me think. I don't know. I plan to have an effective job because nowadays, as I said, I'm an intern. My intention is to be graduated too, so it's important. In 5 years, I guess I will be in a good level of Spanish too. I hope so. So I think that's it in
Very
general.
good. Yes, I loved it. I loved it. Very good. Do you like this HR area? I know like psychology involves a lot of areas, right? Like, is this the area you like?
I'm not sure yet. I'm using this intern experience to know if I like to have this in my future, or not.
Very
But
good.
I'm
I
still
loved it.
experiencing.
Definitely, and it's early to choose. I loved it. Guys, I will skip now a little bit to the next one, which is going to be number 8. Do you apply, oh, there is a typo here, I'm sorry. Do you apply imagination in your life and work? Oh my God, there are a lot of mistakes here, guys, I'm sorry. How does it enhance the quality of your life work? Would you like to start, Newton? How do you apply imagination? Do you do this?
Okay. Yes, I try every time to apply imagination in my work. As I said, I work as account. I work with numbers, but every time I have to apply imagination when things is harder to solve. How can I say? Reporters will have to make reports, and we have many things to think in the same time. I will have to put your imagination to solve problems in order to present a better work every time. Okay, because a quantity have so many difficulties to work. We have so many. How can I say? Informations to send to the government, in the reports to the directs of the organization, and I will have to imagination to present a better work, always time in life. I think imagination is how can be always a better husband, a
That's good.
better
I liked
good
it. Yes.
grandfather. Try to imagination how can it to do with our grandsons, in order to have a good time and to play with them, to have time to be. I have two sons. One I have to my God, to have the two sons better with me. So I have to not to do the best for only son, because I have another.
Yes. You have
Uh,
to give attention to both sons, right? Not just
yes,
one.
yes, give attention to both. And one son we have three grandsons, and another two. They always the time they I would like to have my wife and I with them, but I have one per time. So I have to have imagination to buy the gifts.
And to play with them, right?
Yeah,
That's
yes. It's nice, but you have to have imagination to lead with everyone. As you said, attention for every okay, for all.
I can imagine. Yes,
Yes,
because dealing with kids, it's always a lot of fun, and sometimes you just need imagination and creativity to deal with
yeah,
all the plays, all the games, and the
yeah,
situations, right? Yeah.
it's true.
I loved it. Very good. Dai, you work in a field, like you've been working and you studied something, and I can imagine you you face a lot of this in your daily life. How is it for you?
In my case, my daily life, I apply imagination, like creating some activities for Pandora for her to play because she's a baby. Um, in my daily life, it's more difficult, as I said, because I have some trouble trying to imagine good things, but I apply imagination, imagine bad things, I guess. And in my work, it's it's complicated because I work in a area that is very operational, you know. So I have to do a lot of things in systems and this kind of things. So it's hard to use the imagination and creativity. But when we have some projects like DNI projects or this kind of stuff, I try to use the imagination to predict the future, the results, you know, of these projects, to plan some actions and this kind of things. But it's hard because, as I said, it's a very operational area. But
Good
that's it.
point. Good point. I liked it. Yes, it's true. It's hard to imagine when things are set, right? Like you don't have choices. It's just like you need
Mm-hmm.
to follow the protocol.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, right? I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. We were talking about imagination and creativity, so I'm going to skip to number 7, going back a little bit. Are imagination and creativity related? I think we mentioned these two words, right? And if so, how? If they are related, how? And if not, why not? I want to with you. What do you think?
I think that they are very related, because to imagine, at least to imagine things that doesn't exist yet, like the future or even abstract things, you have to use your creativity as you showed in the video. You have to put two things together that are not usually together. But to imagine like concrete things like the future, this kind of stuff, I think that you don't necessarily need to use your creativity, because I don't know, you can imagine like things that you already lived, it's harder to use the creativity in this way that we are used to think about creativity, like putting different things together, not this kind of creativity, maybe it's a different kind of creativity. So in resume, I think that they are concepts that they are very related, but at the same time they can be different things, like separate things. But I don't know, it's very complex.
It is. It's complex, and I'm confused right now. I must confess. Like while you were saying, I was like, it was a bit mind blowing. I need to think a little bit more about it, because yeah, they are similar. Like as you were saying, I think it's difficult because when you are imagining, you are like creating situations from experiences you are already have, or from images you already have. And creating is about taking things you already know and creating something new. I'm confused. So Newton, what do you think about it?
Oh, I agree with you all, friend. In my opinion, it's relate imagination to creative, but it's very hard to do the opinion in this kind of thing. I think it's relate. Before you create something, you have to imagination, to have imagination. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to link and to link imagination with creative, and it's direct. But I think it's relate, and how you have to before you create something, you have to imagine it. To I think that's it.
Very good, very good. Yes, I liked it. It's difficult. I want to skip. I think the other questions are pretty similar to what we were talking. So I want to add something here about creativity and imagination. The question is, does the educational system in our country encourage creativity and imagination? And if so, how? If not, why not? Let's discuss a little bit of these about these two concepts. I want to start with you. What do you think about it?
It's hard. It's also a hard question, but I think that the public educational system doesn't encourage creativity and imagination, because we have a very strict, I don't know how to say, a very rectangular, I don't know, a very complex system that is very repeated. It's not so dynamic. The teachers teach the class in the same way for years. They've been doing that for years, and we doesn't change that. And the learner, the student, is always so passive, like trying to gain that knowledge that it's being taught by the teacher. So it's not something very dynamic that involves creativity and imagination, at least not in the public schools that I know. But I know that there is some schools like I don't know the name in English, but they are like constructive schools that it's usually private schools that they usually have the system that uses creativity and imagination, because they try to teach the students, the kids, the content of that topic that they are trying to teach, but involving the real life, like how to cook pasta, and at the same time they teach you how works the boiling of the water or something like that. They try to involve the concept with the activity of your routine or things like that. So they encourage creativity and imagination. But the public schools, I would say that they don't.
Yes, it's really nice what you said, and I totally agree. I'll go with you. I think it's hard because usually like public schools, they usually follow this traditional method, right? And unfortunately, kids don't have the chance to learn from other points of view, and it's always like so focused on the content, right, and on like getting good grades, and it doesn't think that much on the kids development. I think this is usually something focused a little bit more when like we are talking about the kindergarten or like young ages, and then when they go to elementary school or high school, the focus is always getting good grades and like being approved in a test or in an exam, vestibular, and things like that. So it's really sad actually to see that just like rich people or like the ones who have access to private schools have the chance to learn things from different points of view and be respected in like different ways. It's really, really complex. What do you think about it, Newton? Share with us.
Oh, sorry, my internet's not very good now, but
Okay, could you hear
okay.
the question?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, good.
I think the education system now, I think that they encourage imagination and creative. As I saw my grandsons, they are studying in private school, but I have a friend that have sons that study in public school, and I have seen that they are trying to do the best to encourage creativity and the imagination in childhood. Because as I saw, they always they try to take an advantage of everything in order the child to think to represent something. When you have for example, Independence Day in Brazil, when you have the day of Indians. Oh, I have seen our teachers all the time to trying to encourage creativity and imagination. As I saw,
Yes, like it's good to see that like teachers are trying their best to make students like think from other points of view and like really working hard. I hope I really need to say this, that are a lot of teachers working on this and like trying to change the system. So thank you so much for sharing with us. I totally agree with you. Yes, and I will add another one here about creativity. Do you think creativity comes with time and thought, or you are born with creative talent? Are we born with this or we develop this, Newton? What do you think? Let me start with you.
In my opinion, I think I think that it developed with the time. I think the form of a child is have opportunities to have a better food, and better environment. These things work, but I think that is have to develop with the time and with the life. It's not only born with, but I think that that have a work in order to develop in child this creative talent.
Good point. So you think the environment influences creativity?
Yeah.
Good point of view. I liked it. How do you see it, Dai?
I agree with Newton. I think that we have this predisposition factor, like genetics, that maybe influences the creativity. But at the same time, I think that we can teach people to have this ability, because as we were saying before, I think that creativity is like when you know how to connect two things that are not usually connected, like in the real life or something like that. So I think that when you are like being exposed to these things or to more things, you are having new experiences. I think that you probably are getting more chances to be creative. So I think that is something that you can develop during your life, having these new experiences. So I agree with Newton.
I liked it. Yeah, it's really nice. I have no idea if this is something we are born with or if if there is something genetics on it, but it's interesting to think about that, right? I will go with you. I think the environment really influences it. Yeah. Guys, I will bring the other guys from the breakout room back, but I want to ask you the last question. I want you to think of the most creative person you know or someone you know who is really creative. Can you think of someone, Dying?
My boyfriend is very creative. He always can find like solutions that are not common to problems, so I consider him very creative.
Okay, that's pretty good. How about you, Newton? Is anyone around you creative?
As I said at the beginning of our conversation here, I'm a accountant. Account is techniques and numbers.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, it doesn't work in order to be a very creative person. You have to be creative, but not so much as other professions. I think, like a painter, like a
yeah,
artist.
just like Dai was saying, right? Like there are some areas that you need to just follow the protocol and that's it, right? Yeah. I totally feel you. Like if you are a painter or an artist or maybe a designer or something like this, it's like you have to be imaginative and to be creative, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I loved it, guys. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much. I'm bringing the guys from the breakout room back. So I really hope you have enjoyed. Share with me, how was the first immersion?
It was pretty fine. Thank you so much, bro. I loved it. I will try to come back in other sessions, maybe tomorrow or something like that. But I loved it.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm glad you liked it. And I have another immersion on Wednesday in the morning at 9. So if you are available, you are more than invited to join us, okay?
Thank
And next
you.
week too, and I'm always here at the same time. Welcome back, guys. How was the conversation, Breno? Did you like it?
Yes, I like it a lot. I don't know why, but I feel like every immersion I like connected. I'm not sure if you guys chat a little bit in the backstage about it, but I think I feel yeah.
Which one?
What was that?
No,
No,
like
no.
we.
For example, the last one was about childhood, and then the right last one was about memories. You know, if you are
Uh-huh.
good, if you can memorize things, or if you lost things easier.
Uh-huh.
And then today is about brain and imagination. So I think everything's kind of connected. You know, so
Yes, we
I
don't we
have this
don't
feeling.
we don't talk to each other about the subject, but I feel that sometimes we do connect stuff naturally, you know, or like two hosts choose the same topic on the same week, so it's interesting. And I feel that sometimes our mind is like thinking about stuff, you know, like our
Yeah.
mind is has this the subject fresh, and then we do this. But I totally feel you. I have already felt this way. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Jack now. Jack, are you an imaginative boy? Share with us why or why not.
More or less. Yes, I think I am more or less an imaginative person. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because I start imagination very young. I start with a child to imagine my future. And then, as I said in our conversation, I reach what my goals in my life with always with a nice imagination.
Yes, I loved it. Yeah, that's really, really important. And we were discussing here in the main room how important being imaginative is in order to like think of our dreams and the goals we want to achieve, right? So I totally feel you. I want to ask, thank you so much, Jack. I want to ask Isla the next one. Let me see, Isla. How do you see your next year? Like, what do you think your life will be like next year?
The last one.
No, it's actually number 6. Can you imagine what your life will be like next year?
So I have difficulty to imagine my future. So I consider it's important because it's important to us to get out our bubble and to achieve a freedom minded. But I can't imagine my future. I try to work uh, to achieve my goals, but I have difficulty to imagine it. But I would like to be here, because I think it's a good way to attract to you, and I think it's a good way to the thing is happy,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel you. And I need to tell you, you are not alone. Here in the main room, I was Diane. We were saying it's really hard for us too. So it's okay. It's complex. I totally feel you. Well, we are running out of time. We just have 3 minutes. So I would like to say my last words. Here in the chat, we have the link to the survey. This is a place where you can send your suggestions. You can complain about the topic. You can complain about the meeting. You can send nice words to me. It's completely anonymous, so I don't know who is sending anything. It's just a place to send messages. And if you're watching us on YouTube and want to have classes, have access to the questions previously, be part of our community on LinkedIn, our WhatsApp group, and everything. You just have to find the information on our website, talkandtalk.com.br. And I think that's it, guys. I'd like to thank you so much. And next week, we are talking about jealousy. I am really curious to know your thoughts about it. And I will really want to see you here next week too, okay? I really hope you have a great weekend and I see you around. Thank you so much.